Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Brian Custer, and I'm a big fan of our podcast partner, Athletic Greens. You know, everybody who knows me know I start my day every day, 5 a.m. in the gym. And before I hit my workout, I hit this, Athletic Greens, because you know what? It gives me energy, it gives me focus, it boosts my immunity, and it gives me that probiotic health that I've been looking for without taking a slew of vitamins and supplements and all those pills that you have to buy. And so you're probably asking then, what is Athletic Greens? Well, I'll tell you what, just one scoop, 8 ounces of water. You can put it into this thing, shake it up, and drink it. And what you're getting is you're absorbing 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole foods, superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogens to help start your day right. You know, it contains less than 1 gram of sugar, no GMOs, there's no nasty chemicals, no artificial anything, and it tastes good. You know, AG1 is really a small micro habit with big benefits. It's the one thing you can do every single day to make sure that you're taking care of yourself. And it's lifestyle friendly. So, you know, whether you're keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, or gluten-free, Athletic Greens is for you. And it costs you less than $3 a day. So you're investing in your health, and it's cheaper than really that cold brew habit that you may have. And additionally, for every purchase, they're going to donate to organizations and make sure that those in need are getting food. In fact, in 2020, Athletic Greens donated over 1.2 million meals to kids. Right now, I'm telling you, folks, it's time to reclaim your health, reclaim your immune system, boost it up with a convenient daily nutrition, especially with us going into this flu and cold season. And Athletic Greens is going to make it easy for you. They're going to also give you a free 1-year supply of immune supporting vitamin D. And they're also going to give you 5 of these travel packs with your first purchase. And all you've got to do is go to athleticgreens.com/laststand. Again, athleticgreens.com/laststand. It's time, folks, to take ownership of your health and do it with Athletic Greens.
It's The Last Stand. And here is your host, Brian Custer.
That's right. It is The Last Stand. We bring you the biggest names in the sport, and joining us today is one of the stars of the lightweight division in the sport of boxing. He has some of the fastest hands in the sport to go along with millions of followers. He's unbeaten. He's known as the King. King Ryan Garcia joins us on The Last Stand. Ryan, it has been forever since I've seen you, and I've been waiting to do this for a while. Welcome to The Last Stand.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I appreciate it. I'm ready to get into this, but thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate it a lot.
Absolutely, King. Let's get right into this, man. It's going to be a year and a half, I think, since the last time we've seen you in the ring.
Yeah.
But April 9th, you're back. Texas,
Yeah.
San Antonio, taking on Emmanuel Tagoe, I think is the name, out of Ghana.
Takeout.
Yeah.
I think so.
32-1, 13 knockouts. Not a big power puncher.
Yeah.
Really just a couple times he's fought here in the States. Why Tagoe? Yeah. Why him?
I mean, I think that he's the perfect opponent to come back with. I've had over a year off, and I've had hand surgery, so it's kind of just get the feels for my for ring rust, or if there's any timing issues. It's kind of a fight like that, and also I'm setting up a bigger fight later on with some big contenders. So this is just a fill out fight to see how I feel. But you can never take anybody lightly. Takeout is under the radar. He's a pretty good fighter. He has a good jab, and he has other attributes that might be a little tricky.
You talk about some of those big fights, and listen, you had this kind of back and forth, it seemed like, with Isaac Cruz. Then there was reports of maybe Ryan Garcia and Tevin Farmer. Why didn't those fights come to fruition?
You know, I don't know if it's especially with me, but for some reason, there's always so many things being said, being, discussed supposedly that I kind of have no clue about. I just get told a lot of stuff, but I mean, the facts are that me and Isaac Cruz, I was pushing for that fight because I wanted to come back and fight him. But he didn't want to fight. He wanted certain things, and it just didn't work out. But I wanted to fight him, and for some reason he just didn't want to accept the offer. But it's fine. I mean, it is what it is.
You mentioned it too, and you showed us a little bit. You recently had surgery there on your hand that you hurt in training. Yeah, hey, look, you had to pull out of that fight with Jojo Diaz because of
Yeah.
that. Any concerns that the hand will be an issue on April 9th and in your career going forward?
I mean, my right hand, it's always had issues, and it's kind of a thing that I've had to deal with my whole career, really, since I was in the amateurs. So it's not gonna bother me too much. I know that the surgery is for the better. So I think that, when I'm in the ring, I'll feel it more. But right now, it feels great. I'm using it. I have power in it, and I mean, my power punch is the left hook, so I'm not really worried.
Um, you talked about being active. And that's something when it comes to Ryan Garcia, a lot of people have questions about. Listen, we had Canelo on Showtime, and during his fight, he said this, and I'm quoting him. Look, Ryan has a lot of talent, but in my eyes, he's wasting a lot of time and wasting talent. I look at him and don't see him 100% dedicated, and to us, that's a bad signal. We always remind him as a team, come to the gym to train, learn, because you need to be in the gym. You're learning day by day. At the very minimum, fighting 5 times a year. So he definitely needs to be a little more dedicated, end quote. When you saw those, what went through your mind when you saw that?
I mean, I don't know. I kind of felt a little disappointed, I guess, but I know that, Canelo knows that I went through a hard time in this past year after the Campbell fight. I fell into like a deep depression, and I had a lot of mental issues that I just felt that I needed to get to deal with moving forward in my career. And as I was going through those hard times, it was hard for me to be dedicated. It was hard for me to do anything at the time. So I understand why he would say something like that. But I was dealing with my stuff, and I'm a hungry fighter. I've been training since I was 7 years old. Uh, this is the only year I've ever taken really off. So uh, I understand where his heart was coming from, but I was going through a hard time during that time. So um, I appreciate him for, like, wanting to motivate me. But I know the situation I was in.
Last time you fought twice in a year, I think it's 3 years ago. In your opinion, does Ryan Garcia need to be more active?
Most definitely. I mean, I've wanted to fight a lot of times. I mean, it's not even just this year. There's been a couple years where there's just been a lot of drama in my career, and I kind of want to get it settled down and to a point where I could fight often because I know I have the talent, I have the skills to put on a lot of great fights, and I kind of just want, you know, to be in the ring. I love to fight. I love to do my thing. I love just the feeling in the ring. I like the timing. I like everything about boxing. So I really want to move forward with my career and just get stable and consistent. I think that's my goal because I could do great things. I know I can.
Canelo and Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy had a really public, nasty divorce. And he had, some harsh words for Oscar. And even let's be honest, I think maybe about a year ago, you kind of went public a little bit about some of the things over there at Golden Boy. At any point, have you looked around and said, maybe my time with Golden Boy is done. It's time for me to move on, or are you happy there?
At the moment, I'm happy. I'm just kind of excited to continue to fight. With Golden Boy, that's a whole different issue. But as of right now, there isn't any issue. Before, in the past, there was a little things that were going on that I was kind of bothered by. But we worked it out and we came to a good medium, and I'm excited moving forward.
You have built, man, a huge, I mean, millions. When you talk about a following there on social media, how have you done that? Because there's so many fighters who are trying to do that just now. How have you done that?
Just like I do in boxing, I make sure that I give everything 100%. So when it came to social media, I seen an opportunity there to branch out my name, and I kind of got in it when I was like 18, 19, and I just started seeing what people like. I would post things, and if it would get a lot more views and another type of video, I would continue to post videos similar to that. And then when I would fight, I would make sure I post right away, make sure I post my highlights. I just had a whole like format on how I would run things before a fight and then after fight, and then it would maximize my exposure for even just a little fight. So I would just think like that, and then I don't know, everything else worked together. I put on great performances, highlights, and from there I just became big. But it's like a gift and a curse now. But it's okay. I like it. I put
Uh,
myself in that position.
you have such a strong following now, and listen, it's led to huge things. I mean, you're the first fighter to be signed by Gatorade. You've got your own soap, Marlowe. But you know what? The critics will say Ryan Garcia is a social media fighter, not a real fighter. What do you say to that?
Uh, all I could do is perform in the ring. That's all I could say to that, because and no amount of words will change the people that have negative things to say about that. I just know I put myself in a good position to be well off outside the ring, just as I am inside the ring. I know what I could do in the ring. I just I've done it my whole life. I've been at the top of the amateur scene, and now I'm at the top of the professional scene in my weight class. And I know I will continue to do that. I'm a above average fighter. I know I am.
Mhm. Jake Paul is a guy who certainly has a following like yours. What do you think about what he's brought to the sport of boxing?
I think that he wants nothing but good for the sport. I do believe that, and I think that part of it is good, and there's pros and cons to it. But I think majority it's good for the sport, and I wish him the best because he's doing a lot of good things.
You mentioned Isaac Cruz. So he was at the Keith Thurman Mario Barrios fight, and he was asked obviously about you, and he said your promoter never sent them an offer to Sean Gibbons, who's his manager. He said the only thing we got was tweets from Ryan Garcia. Then there's the Tank Davis situation. You guys had a back and forth. Now, Leonard Ellerby even said, at one point he was trying to talk to your team about let's do this deal. And then he said Ryan Garcia went dark on us and comes out and says we're fighting Manny Pacquiao. And Manny Pacquiao's people said that's news to us. We haven't talked that. That's not going to happen. Any concern at all that Ryan Garcia is developing this reputation as a guy who likes to cry wolf?
Yeah, no, definitely that's a concern because it's kind of been a repetitive situation where things have been said a lot. Like I was telling you in the beginning, people say a lot of things, and people that are close to me, and then I talk to the people themselves, and then they say something, and then I put it out there and I create a big buzz for it because that's just what I do. I get ahead of the ball because I have my own format on how to promote a fight, how to like I was telling you, and they keep on failing me in what they're saying. In regards to Isaac Cruz, he's crazy if he didn't get an offer. I mean, obviously, Sean Gibbons was talking to my advisor, Lupe Valencia, and I mean, he could call him up right now. It's just the truth. The dude just didn't want to fight. I would have pieced him up easy. And then Tank Davis, I wanted to fight him. Obviously, after Campbell, I was very advocate to fight him, and all of a sudden, I get an offer, which I did talk to Manny Pacquiao and his team myself, and I could literally call up Manny Pacquiao right now. They were talking about it, and they wanted to do it. And then all of a sudden, it's just all smoke and mirrors, and I'm left in the middle looking stupid. But now I know not to open my mouth before it happens. Don't count your chickens before they hatch. But I had to learn this myself, and just I'm growing up. I'm 23, and when you get things like that told to you, you're gonna fight Manny Pacquiao. Of course, you're like, oh, forget King Davis right now. I want to fight Manny Pacquiao. He's my idol. I would like, oh, he's somebody I admire. and I would love to fight him. So I was excited, and I learned from my mistakes, and I'm not going to do that again.
And just to follow up on that, is that then your promoter's fight? Is that fault? Is that something where Ryan Garcia had to go to his promoter and say, "Hey, look, you got to stop coming to me and saying we got this lined up when you don't have it, a signature on the dotted line"?
Oh yeah, I mean, definitely. I would say that it's part their fault. It's part my fault. I didn't need to post a fight poster, right away. I just like to create a lot of buzz. But it was my mistake, and I take full responsibility for that. But I shouldn't be told things that are not actually gonna go down. Just don't tell me anything unless we're very serious, like in serious talks, because I'd rather not say anything because of what people have been said. What people are starting to build a reputation about me.
And so the big question is, will Ryan Garcia fight Tank Davis?
That will definitely happen. That fight is definitely possible to make within this year or the next year after that. It's really up to our performances, and if our teams could come together and reach a mutual agreement. I would love to fight Tank Davis, and I know I will beat him, uh, and I will knock him out within probably 1 to 5 rounds.
Wow. Wow. And you're adamant
And
about
and
that,
and
huh?
yeah, I'm very adamant on about it because he gets hit a lot, but he hasn't got hit by somebody with snap power and precision like me. And I'm definitely not somebody uh, to not land a shot. I have very good accuracy, and he gets hit a lot, and he's gonna run into something. And maybe he'll catch me too. Who knows? He's a good power puncher too. But just know I'm right there, and I'm just as dangerous. I have that poison in my hands, just like him. So I would love for that fight to happen. It'll be exciting for the fans. It'd be exciting for myself. I would love to be in the ring, see what he got. But I know it's gonna be a lot easier than it looks outside the ring. I've seen these type of fighters. I already know it.
Listen, they call you, they call Devin Haney, they call Tank, Teofimo. Heck, you even throw Cambosis in there now. They call you guys the Four Kings, right? In your opinion, out of all of those guys, Tank, Haney, Teofimo, Cambosis, now you throw in, which one does Ryan Garcia want more?
I want Tank the most, like as in like I just want to get that on already. I think that's like a Leonard Hearns, minus the bouts, but like that type of atmosphere. Everybody's gonna be wanting to bet on it. Everybody's gonna think somebody's gonna win more the other. It's gonna have that type of thrill and atmosphere. Uh, I want to fight obviously Cambosis because he has all the bouts, and that would be cool to have. And then the other fights, who was it? Devin and who else? I forgot. You said somebody
Yeah,
else. Uh,
Teofimo.
Teofimo, yeah, I would, and them, after I beat those two guys, I'll clean them up real quick, just to clean up the rest of the division.
I love it, Ryan. I love it. I love your talk. In your opinion, which one of those out of all those guys the biggest puncher?
Tank Davis, obviously, is the snappier. He has that, quick twitch, like I know that type of power. And he has that strong, muscle to him, because he's kind of compact and short. So when he hits you, if he hits you clean on the temple or the chin, it's definitely gonna hurt. So he's probably the best puncher. The most tricky is probably Haney because he's not gonna stand in one spot. He's gonna use his jab, and he's gonna be trying to just win at any means. But he doesn't have that specialness to him, and he doesn't know that yet. But when he's in the ring with me and I hit him with something that he never felt before, never seen, he's gonna be like, "Ah, shit, I'm just gonna have to lose this fight," and he's just gonna get knocked out. That's it. It's simple. He's gonna get knocked out. Everybody's gonna get knocked out. I don't see none of them going to the distance with me.
Out of all of them, which one is the best fighter?
Oh man, that's a good one. Uh, I mean, if you want to throw Loma in, he's the best technical fighter, but the hardest, trickier, more polished fighter, I would say Devin slightly, just because he's taller, he has range, he's like kind of old school with the jab, and he mixtures new school in it. So I like Devin as the best fighter, but the most, dangerous Tank. Everybody has their own thing to him. That's the great thing about it. Everybody has their own. just, it's who they are, and I think that it's going to be fun watching once we get in the ring. But once one of us gets in the ring with each other, all of us are going to get in the ring because now it's guns blazing.
So let me ask you this straight out, because as you know, in this sport, the proof is in the pudding. Hey, you've talked about, hey, look, maybe I've jumped the gun on some of these things and shouldn't have done that. I think everyone wants to know, is Ryan Garcia that guy at
Right.
135?
Yeah, I'm that guy. I'm that guy in every division. I know that for a fact. I know that I have something special to me, and it's just time to. It's just time will tell. But you know, we got to all be a little bit more patient. It's like everybody's kind of all like on everyone to do something. But at the end of the day, these fights, for some reason, they're not happening right now, and it's just not going down. So at the end of the day, all we have to do is wait. Like, that's it. Like, I know that, we're going to be here for a long time. This is not like, even if one of us takes a loss or we're not, these are the best fighters of this generation. Shakur, myself, Devin, Teofimo, Tank, all that. We're going to be here. So, it's going to go down. It's just when it goes down, that's the real question.
Yeah, it's a great point there. And people, I think,
Yeah.
fail to realize, too, you're only 22 years old. I mean, listen,
Yeah.
you still got
23 now, but yeah.
23. You still got Similac on your breath. Let's
Man,
be
Tank
honest.
is 26, 27. Tell his ass to get in the ring already. He don't. We're still
You
young.
mentioned, yeah, you're right. You mentioned this. Listen, mental health is now something that people are taking much more seriously, especially in sports. And then last summer, you took a break really from the sport. You said depression hits you like a truck. How old were you? When did you realize, Ryan, that you had a problem?
I had a problem when I was 17. I was gonna quit boxing at 17. I don't know, one day, not one day, but I experienced like a panic attack when I was 17, and it kind of just threw me all off, and I fell into depression because I didn't know what was wrong with me, and I didn't know who to talk to. As a boxer and as somebody that always thought, strong mindset, no matter what, you push through anything, you could break through any wall, that these emotions will leave you. I kind of was scared to say that something was bothering me inside and I didn't know how to handle it. So at that time, I knew I had a problem, but I kind of figured it out myself and just kind of, talked to, my family and kind of dealt with it. And then I got back into boxing, and then this is when this all happened. And then after the Campbell fight, uh, it just came and creeped up on me again. But uh, this time, I think it had more to do with, stress buildup. There was a lot of stress before the fight. And then after the fight, I went up so high and I never came down. I was still on everything. I never gave my time to relax, go on vacation, do anything. And I don't know, I had a lot of problems. Like I was everywhere during that time, and I was confused, and I just didn't feel myself. I mean, it got very dark. It got to a point, I didn't know if I wanted to live or not. That's how bad it
Wow.
was. Um, and people kind of didn't understand that it was so severe because no matter what, like, I can't stop my competitive spirit. That's in me. Like, that's who I am. Like, deep down in my core, I'm competitive. So when I would watch these guys fight, even though I was hurting inside, like, I would watch these fights and I would start crying because I wanted to be there so bad. Like, that's all I wanted to do. And I couldn't get myself to do that. So all I could do is say, like, I still would beat these guys if I was good. Like, if I could just bring myself together. Like, I had to fight to just get myself, to do anything. So I was like, I would say these things, but I knew I wasn't okay. And I don't think people understand that, I still had that fire in me, but it was just a very dark time. But through help, and then through me, like, actually trying to help myself this time, like, I went to like a therapist and I went to a wellness center, and I got everything I needed, to deal with these situations in my life. I feel so much better, so much clear minded, and I feel stronger, like stronger mentally. And I think I'm a little bit more dangerous now, actually.
Mm. And is it just depression, or is it anxiety and depression?
they work together. So it's
Hmm.
kind of like both, my anxiety got so bad that it depressed me. So it's like I felt like I couldn't do anything. So I got depressed. And then I went everywhere. I was struggling with everything. And I got into bad habits and things that were slowing me down, drinking. There were so many things because I never drank before, but since I went through this time and I couldn't suppress anything, I started drinking a lot. I started doing whatever because I was hurting inside and I couldn't stop it. I wanted to die. I swear I wanted to die. I wanted to kill myself any other way. So I got into a lot of things, but you know, I fought myself back, and God showed me that I have a purpose, and He's not going to leave me through any situation. And I started feeling that in my spirit, and I just kept moving forward. I was like, I'm not going to quit no matter what, no matter how hard it hurts, nothing. And I gathered myself, and I'm back to where I am.
That's great, man. And how did it make you feel, Ryan, especially when that came out, that there were a number of fighters who even trolled you about it
Yeah.
and came out and said, hey, that's just his excuse. That's the reason why he uses that as an excuse to back out of some of these fights. How did that make you feel?
It just kind of made me feel it hurt me when I heard it from the fans, not so much these fighters because they're gonna say whatever, but it's kind of like, man, anybody else, right? Like in any other sport, they'll get support, right?
Yeah.
Or like actors or anything, they get support. But me, I had to hear it, and I still hear it today that I was faking it. Um, it was just all an act, but I think I'm okay because the people that come up to me and say, as the man, you helped me, speak about my emotions, and I was gonna hurt myself, and I didn't because you were able to just put yourself in the front lines. I'm okay, even if it's just one person or two people. I think what I did was right, and I'm gonna live with that comfortably. That I made that decision publicly, and when this is all said and done, I think that. Um, it'll be for the better good in the
Absolutely.
sport of boxing because you see people struggling with it now and you see people going through issues, and I think if they would have took time to just address it first before things blow over, before mistakes are made, before you do something like not rational outside of the ring, you see it all the time. If you would have took your time and just accepted that, okay, let me handle this first and then step into the ring, they mistakes probably won't be made, and things will be better for them in their life.
I tell you what, your testimony is certainly going to save a lot of people, man. It's great, and I'm happy that you're feeling much better because the sport of boxing, let's be honest, is better when you're in it and you're healthy.
Yeah.
Um, I got to ask you, how long do you see yourself at 135?
Man, that probably is another problem, man. Staying at these low weights. Uh, I mean, not for long. I think two, 3 fights maybe tops. I'm 5'10", and I'm not a little 5'10". My frame is getting bigger, and I'm growing up, so not for long. So I'll probably fight these guys at 140, 147 most likely because why would we fight at 135? It's so small, man.
Yeah.
Let's grow up a little.
And how big do you think? What weight class when it's all said and done? Ryan Garcia says, "You know what? I'm done." What weight class you think you'll be at?
Easily 160, I think.
Hmm.
That would probably be the weight I cut it off at, 160. I think I'm tall enough to handle that and strong enough.
What's your ultimate goal in the sport?
My ultimate goal at this sport is to be a champion in every division I fight in, but it's also to change and inspire lives in the things I do inside and outside the ring, and to do something amazing every time I step into the ring. I want to leave an impression every time I step in that ring, whether it be a knockout, whether it be a war, something, something special when I step in that ring. I want to happen. Like I intentionally go in there to do something amazing. So that's what I want to do for the people.
Does it bother you that there are a number of people who say, "Man, Ryan Garcia, he is a cherry picker. He just cherry picks his
Uh,
opponents."
I mean, you could say that about everybody. um, we kind of all pick at certain times who we want to fight. But at the end of the day, if you want to make the big fights and you want to make the big money, we're gonna have to step in the ring. So you could only cherry pick for so long. I know that I fought, some good competition, but there's going to be great competition in the future, and that's what we're in the ring for. That's why we're doing this sport, and it will happen just when it happens.
Ryan, for people who come on the show, we allow the fans who listen and who watch The Last Stand submit questions. We got so many through social media, but we're only going to get to a few here. We start here from Twitter. The first one says, Texas from on Twitter says, Ryan, how come the haters pay more attention and follow you more closely than your actual fans?
I know, right? I don't know. I mean, people like to bring people down. They like drama. And I mean, for some reason, every time I post, it's like nothing but hate. But my fans they show up, not on Twitter, because Twitter, for some reason, I don't know why. There's so many trolls on Twitter. But on Instagram, I have a lot of love and support. And, that's where a majority of my fans are. So I'm okay with that.
KO from Twitter asks, how do you deal with all the hate comments, and why not just focus on your training?
I do focus on my training, but at the end of the day, like, the social media is also part of my life, and I know I've been doing it since I was young, and I know how to balance the two. So I don't pay attention to the comments. They're just there, and I just mainly focus on what I'm posting, if it's benefiting my career, and if it's getting me more exposure. It has nothing. I don't really read the comments that much.
VAR from Twitter asks, out of the four kings, you haven't had a title shot yet. Do you feel your promotional team is in the way of the best fights?
I don't. I mean, titles. At this era, it's just like, it's a joke. At the end of the day, there's the real champion's gonna be whoever beats a really well-known fighter. To me, is who the champion's gonna be, and I see George Kambosos obviously as the champion now. He beat Teofimo, who beat Lomachenko. That's who I see as the champion. I don't really care about these made-up titles. I mean, I had over 100 titles, right? Like, oh, you're the silver champion, this champion, WBC, this champion. I'm not worried about that. What I'm worried about is making sure my family's set and giving the fans great fights. That's it.
Next one on from Twitter says, how do you or who do you want to fight after this fight?
I do want to fight Kambosos, but if Tank wants a Rumble too, we could get that on. So it's like whoever those two kind of want it, I would love to, because when I come back, knock this guy out, they're all going to be knocking on my door. Ryan, can we get a fight, please? Please, Ryan. Because at the end of the day, the only pay-per-view that's going to sell is either me and Tank or me and somebody else. You could try. Go ahead. Try to make a good pay-per-view. Go ahead. Knock yourselves out. At the end of the day, it's going to be me and whoever else. And we're going to do a good fight, We're gonna get it on. Kambosos or Tank, whoever wants to fight a little.
Absolutely. That fight would be massive. Jermaine from Twitter asks, are you focused on becoming undisputed and the best at the sport in your division, or trying to fight top-level opposition while you can that will allow you to leverage you into bigger and better things outside of the ring?
I mean, that's a good question. I mean, I think whatever I do, it's going to lead to big opportunities outside the ring if I win. So it doesn't matter if I'm undisputed or I beat Tank Davis. It doesn't matter. Like, Tank Davis is probably just as much worth as all the other belts, People, they care about who you beat. They don't care about the title. At least I see it that way. I care about who have you beat and how'd you do it, and if, like, do you gather the people's attention or not? You could have all the belts and I won't know your name from the journeyman. Like, I won't. I don't really know all the champions, but I know certain fighters, and I know because how they fight. I don't pay attention to the belts like that.
Elber asks, What happened to the fight with Tevin Farmer?
That fight, I didn't even know what was going on. I heard people saying that, and I didn't even know that was even a possibility, to be honest, until like there was tweets. But I don't know. I mean, it just didn't happen. I mean, does Tevin Farmer want to fight? He said he did, so I mean, maybe that could happen one day. But
Drew asks, why did you feel the need to troll Haney on Instagram during his fights with Linares and JoJo, but haven't stepped up to the plate to fight Devin?
I just always troll any of my lightweight contenders, not just Devin. I troll Cambosis, I troll Tank, I troll everyone. So it's kind of like it's just my competitive spirit. It's not so much trolling. I'm just saying like forget all you guys. I'm gonna beat all you guys. Like it's just kind of my attitude on how I approach things. I like to, you know, I don't know. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I don't know. You're not a fighter, so you wouldn't understand, man. It's like you want to just, you just want to talk a little something, something. They always do it to me, anyways. So
absolutely, hey,
we're
look,
all doing it to each other.
That's what makes these fights so big is the buildup to them. Yeah, you're right about that. Let me ask you, biggest misconception about Ryan Garcia?
I would say that I only care about social media. That's not true because even my social media, that all my followers, they're based on the sport of boxing. I didn't get famous from doing TikTok dances or the normal social media. I got famous from hitting the mitts, knocking people out, and posting body shot videos. That's all related to boxing. So it's crazy for people to think that I care about social media. They don't even know what a real social media influencer looks like. It's all TikTok dances and trends. I'm not doing none of that. I set my own trends on social media. Body shot challenge was created by me. All the speed uppercuts created by me, and all the other things is original, done by me. Has nothing to do with social media. It was me posting what I like on my training, and it blew up. So that was the biggest misconception. Everything I gave is to the sport. I just brought boxing into social media. I did it, and that was just it.
All right, King Ryan Garcia, we've come to the last segment of this show. It is called The Last Stand, so I'm going to ask you a series of questions. You just give me the first thing that comes to your mind. You ready?
Yeah.
Here we go. Best fighter under the Golden Boy banner is who?
Right here, baby. Wait, what am I going to say, man? What kind of questions?
Hey, I'm just asking, Virgil Ortiz, it could be anybody,
Hey, that's what I'm saying. Shout out my guy, Virgil Ortiz. I love him to death, though. But obviously, he's not going to say I'm better than him. I'm not going to say he's better than me.
Which you're right, because we have Virgil Ortiz on the show there, and he said that. He said, it's me.
I guarantee he's going to say he's
Yes, you're right. You're right. In your opinion, who has the fastest hands in boxing? Is it Gary Russell Jr. or Ryan Garcia?
Different speeds. His speed is multiple shots. My speed is one or two. I would say one for one shot, me. Combinations, him. They flow better, but my shot, I don't even do that, so it doesn't matter.
Who's the best Garcia? Is it Danny? Is it Mikey? Or is it Ryan?
It's me, baby. I love them to death. I mean, we're all Garcias. So I can't really. I'm not hating on you. I love Danny. I love Mikey. But at the end of the day, it's me.
Out of Tank, Haney, Teofimo, which one of those guys irks you the most?
Tank, Teofimo, or Devin, you said?
Mm-hmm.
Irks me? Oh, man.
Just gets under your skin when you see him. You said, man, this dude here.
I used to be Teofimo. I'm not going to lie, because just the things he would say would just irk me. Like, what are you talking about, man? You talked for 10 minutes. I didn't understand anything you said. Not one thing made sense. But, like all of them. I mean, nothing. They don't really irk my nerves really all that much.
Love it.
I love you, Teofimo, man. I hope you're doing good.
Last question.
All jokes, man.
Yep. Ryan Garcia will become the lightweight world champion when?
This year. I'll be probably undisputed at this when it's all said and done, probably. If I get Cambosis next, for sure, this year. If I don't get Cambosis, then I don't know what's gonna happen. Maybe I fight Tank and win that other belt. I don't even know does he even have a belt? See, this is why I'm so
Yes, he
confused.
does.
I don't
I
know
know,
if
I
he
know.
has a real belt or not, but it's all good.
Shots. Yeah,
I
sure,
know.
yeah. I love it. Hey, listen, my brother, we've been waiting to do this for a long time, man.
Yeah, I
I
know.
appreciate you doing it. And you know what? Next time, we got to do it in person.
Yeah, we do, definitely. That would be awesome. Thank you for having me again, Brian. You're the best. You know, I respect you, and I thank you for having me on. I appreciate it a lot, man.
Hey, folks, that's what we do here on The Last Stand. We bring you the biggest names in the sport. And I tell you what, when you talk about lightweight, 135 doesn't get any bigger than King Ryan Garcia. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you again next week.